Just the two of us.
Oh wait, now I don't know how to take pictures on my Android
You
anymore.
and I.
Give a nigga an iPhone for 3 days.
Right, lose your fucking
All of a
mind.
sudden, you don't know how to act. All of a sudden, all of a sudden. Yeah, what was really funny to me is people really like being like, welcome. And I'm like, oh no, you're still getting green bubbles from me. Like nobody's phone is number is saved in my iPhone. I can't find nobody that I know or invite anybody to Clubhouse because my number is actually not, like nobody's number is actually in my iPhone. And I'd like to
Why is
keep
it
it that
that
way.
all the people? I'm messy. Never mind.
Huh?
But I'm messy.
You said what?
I'm looking at like people to invite,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just like, oh, they're all. Oh, okay.
They're
Yeah,
all what?
they all have something in common.
What's that?
I'm not inviting them. All. There we go. Let's unplug that. Sam's probably laughing. Sam's probably cracking up. Like, nigga.
Last block
My
of
wife
the
says I
week.
run a wayward home for women.
What?
She says I run a wayward home for women.
Where on Clubhouse?
No, in general, in
In
life.
general, explain.
She says that I run a wayward home for women. Like I have lots of friends who are women who got shit going on and you know they need a friend. So she calls it my wayward home for beep.
You're home for wayward bitches. That's funny. That was an unnecessarily loud slurp.
I know. It was for dramatic effect. What is going on, everybody? I
Hi,
mean,
friends.
you know, it's really just me and Mikey right now, but that's cool.
Because everybody's on Clubhouse.
Everybody's on
Fucking hype
Clubhouse.
beasts.
Um,
Hate y'all.
I'm
I'm in there and I still
about
hate
to
them.
say you on Clubhouse too, so
How often?
it's like what is a podcast even anymore? Like if it's not on Clubhouse,
If it's not on Clubhouse.
Clubhouse has come and ruined the
So
game.
the biggest thing I've learned about Clubhouse in the week that I've been there,
Hmm.
um, is that y'all niggas take that shit way too seriously. Well, not you, not y'all, not you specifically. There's a group of people that takes the shit too seriously in the sense of like, I'm trying to figure out a PC way to say it. Like the amount of self importance they're giving themselves and the role they play in their Clubhouse communities.
Mm.
And then there's the people that take it too seriously in terms of the amount of complaining that they do about like the content that's on there. Because what I found very, very quickly and figured out very, very quickly is that it's not really hard to curate your content and what you see and who you're interacting with on Clubhouse, just like with everything else. I walked into a room, it was a Haitian room about something very specific. And then it turned into a conversation about sex or some shit. And I was like, this is not really why I was here. And then somebody jumped up and was like, I'm sorry, is this a room for networking about business or like, what is it exactly? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's time to go.
See, I mean, but okay. So that's the part I like because I mean, it depends on like, are you in a room for like a topic? Or are you in a room for the people? So like
Right.
most of the people that you know, I got in the clubhouse and fell into a few communities of people. So the topics would be all over the place because we'd be talking to each other for 18 hours a damn day, you know.
Jesus,
So
why?
there'll be networking. Everybody has businesses, we'll talk about all that stuff. But ain't nobody talking about business at 11 o'clock at night, bro. So,
But there are a shitload of networking rooms at
Oh yeah,
1:30 in the
but
morning.
ain't them shits ain't nobody talking about business in the networking rooms. That's a couple of them are, because you do have people in like different time zones and things like that. But for the most part, the hallways get adult at night. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's just jokes and a good time. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm,
sometimes it's moaning for
for
$600.
stimmies.
Moaning for a
That's what we should
stimmy.
have called the episode, Moaning for a Stimmy.
Moaning for a stimmy. Um,
And that might still be it. It's not too late. It's not too late.
so yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, like it's so here's my take on it. Like it is becoming democratized and I see a lot more people jumping into it. I definitely feel like in another 3-4 months, a lot of the people that are on it now are gonna just kind of fall off because I don't know that it serves a purpose for, everybody, depending on what your life is about or whatever. Somebody said they was in a networking room and they brought a guy up on the stage and asked him what he does, and he said he worked at Walmart. And they were like, "What else do you do?" And he was like, "I work at Walmart." And it's like, what do you really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's going to morph into different things. I think that it's very easy, like I said, to curate your experience on there. Very, very, very easy to engage in the shit that you want to engage in and ignore the shit that you want to ignore. And my tip to you would be to diversify your timelines. Like, don't follow all the same people on fucking Clubhouse that you follow on Instagram and Twitter. That's a wasted opportunity.
yeah. No, I feel you. I think I'm just annoyed by some of the scam rooms. The like, because
So
now it's
explain
just
the scam room concept to me.
so now it's this. It's a lot of funnel rooms. Um, the like it's a silent room. Shh, be quiet and game. Clubhouse link up. Like everybody follow each other. So like all these people go into a room and it's like nobody's talking. It's just a bunch of people following each other
What's the
supposedly,
point?
so that the person who's on the stage, the mods, can actually be the ones who get all the follows. So they could be Clubhouse superstars. Niggas is really putting like Clubhouse's number one person
The
like in
people
their
that I said
bio
are taking this shit way too seriously.
is why. But these are the people who don't like. Who are you? So I'm looking at this lady, Mimi Martini, from Charleston, South Carolina. Follow me for exposure. Why would somebody from Charleston, South Carolina, be giving anybody exposure?
That's
And
so
don't get me
mean.
wrong, I lived in Charleston,
That's
South Carolina.
mean.
I lived in Charleston, South Carolina. I love my Geechee folks. Shopped at Folly Beach, and College of Charleston. But ain't nobody there giving nobody no exposure.
Right.
So, scam,
Right.
scam. You know what I'm saying? So, book me via IG. Use code Clubhouse. Like
What?
now, what you got is you got people that are coming on here directly to try to profit, which I'm not mad at. But I mean, there's no value proposition. These people don't
Right.
actually do anything or know anybody, or most of them don't even actually do the thing they say they do well or at all.
At
You know what I'm
all. Like
saying?
you're
So at
just
the end of the
sorry.
day, right? Like CEO of Roxy, no lady, you sell, Mary Kay. Like stop tripping. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or those rooms where it's like everybody on the stage, we all going, everybody gets a chance to talk.
Why?
Like, why do you have 900 people on your stage, sir?
Anyway, get on it or don't get on it. Whatever. Twitter rolled out their shit last week
Oh, Haitians after
called
dark.
Spaces.
See, that's what they did. Now they got a Haitians after dark room.
Oh yeah, I'm a bunch of, listen, I followed 15, 20 Haitians and now Clubhouse is like, "Oh, you're from that island. Here, come on in here."
Well, I'm in the Caribbean diaspora group too. Are you in there?
Yeah. The
Cool.
Caribbean diaspora in music and entertainment, that room?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, I'm in that room, of course. I'm trying to set up some shit to talk about Haitian music. I'm also trying to set up some shit to talk about, just kind of like the reality of what's going on in Haiti today. And to really a breakdown of like, I had done it on Twitter, but for whatever reason, like, well, I did it on Twitter and I did it on IG. For whatever reason, that damn Makad Brooks video of him like explaining why Haiti is poor, like he fucking understands, started circulating again a couple weeks ago, and so I got tagged on it again like once or twice, and had to tag people into like the fact that I had already responded to it. So I may like have that conversation at some point, but like if I do, I want to make sure that I'm not the only person in there. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to make sure there's other people in there talking about it. So anyway, hi guys. This is the Chopping Block Podcast.
Hello.
He says,
And she's Ty.
yeah, most of the time.
And sometimes we talk about music.
We talk about music a lot.
Do we?
But life be lifing and we be having to talk about life.
This is true. No, and I don't want to get on stage as a speaker. I'm sorry. Let me dip out.
Um, let me dip out.
When you go into a room, it's like, don't bring me up.
No, please don't.
That's so rude, though.
No, because it's very polite. It says so and so is busy right now, but we'll try again later.
And then I ran out the room.
Well, that was kind of rude.
Oh my God, they see me.
Right. At least it's not just you and them.
Nah, it's cool.
Ting, I was gonna say that we live in a city that is currently turning a convention center into a field hospital because the hospitals are packed. But promoters are promoting the fuck out of New Year's Eve parties. So there you go.
You know what's wild?
I'll be safe.
It's crazy. Like, so I went to I went to the studio, which is a straight to the place, inside, into a room, an intimate setting, and then back to my house. Like everything I do is pretty direct. If I go to Costco or whatever, mask on, got my fanny pack with my gloves and my, my hand sanitizer and stuff. But I was like, you know what? I really want some Jamaican food.
Okay.
So I stopped at my spot on the way back, and I was pleasantly surprised because they were socially distancing. They only let like a few customers in at a time. They got like a little face shield and all that stuff. Little hand sanitizer. That fire.
Okay.
On North Side. So,
okay.
Yeah, because the homie was outside, and I was just like, but it's like
it's not hard to do.
It's like there are people outside, but there's not. But there's places where there's just like this. We don't give a damn, and people are congregating in those specific places.
Too many places.
The Trap Museum, or places like
there's a place called the Breakfast Club or something like that where I tried it. Like my niece wanted some red velvet waffles, chicken and red velvet waffles or whatever. So I went to go pick up her order. Like I placed the order online. I went to go pick it up. The amount of people that were in that place at tables and waiting for tables, and I just could not understand. I just can't see that. Whatever. I'm at the point now, honestly, where let me tell you, like I'm complaining about it.
It's all of the nigga spots, bro. It's all the nigga spots.
All the nigga spots.
It's a spot. Was it
no? Opa actually, it's not. Because when you get outside of the city, when you start,
we're not talking. I'm not talking about anything outside the perimeter. I'm talking about inside the city.
Okay, because I just want to make it clear. Outside the perimeter, it's definitely not just us.
We're not talking about redneck Georgia. I'm talking about the city.
It's definitely not just us.
Because once you get outside the city, they're not even wearing masks.
Right. Exactly.
So that's whatever. They don't exist to me.
I was gonna say that like I'm saying things about it, and I'm saying it because I got a concern for myself because I'm not around y'all motherfuckers. I'm in the house.
Right. But I'm saying that, and I say the nigga shit because niggas are traveling here. Ain't no white people traveling to Atlanta to party.
I'm sure there are.
Black people in droves from cities organized. They're coming here to go to Magic City. They're going to very specific places. They're going to very specific restaurants. They all talk about the same restaurants. Yeah. These is places I don't even go to.
Yeah,
I'm going to Art Thomas. There's going to be 4 people in there in the whole spot.
Because you're going at the right time of the day,
right? But they don't. Art Thomas is not open. They're like at 9:00. They're done.
Oh yeah,
they're responsible. Yes. So because I feel like the whole Atlanta narrative is like overblown.
Yeah, people keep saying Atlanta never shut down. And I'm like, no, it definitely did.
And even still, it's slow. Atlanta's very slow, except for a few things. in a few places, and it's just like nothing we could do about it.
I'm in the
But
house.
I also wish niggas would stop coming here.
I also, speaking of which, everybody in Haiti has spent this whole entire year telling me that I should come home because there's no cases. Come home, there's no cases. Come home, there's no cases. There's no cases. Come home, and I'm like, I find that very, 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 very hard to believe in a country with a population of 8 million people and like a 20-30% literacy rate, which means that of those 8 million people, a smooth like 4 million would not be able to report that they had COVID, would not have anybody there to listen to them say that they had COVID or treat them or diagnose or whatever, right? But y'all saying no cases, okay, cool. Last weekend, Burner Boy had a show in Haiti. It was outside of the capital. It was in Cape Haitian. And as excited as I was to see that he was there, and so the thing with Haiti is that because so many Haitians who live overseas, or kids who go away for college or whatever, everybody comes home for Christmas. So Haiti around Christmas time is always lit. Like it's always, like the best shows, the best parties, whatever. So as excited as I was to see Burna Boy there, like I was also very, very um disturbed by just like it was a packed place. It was an outdoor venue, but it was so packed. And it was still like no masks, right?
Right.
Y'all say there's no cases. All right, cool. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, Rotimi had a show. And like the venue that Rotimi had his show at is a venue that's owned by a family friend. My cousin works with them sometimes. It's like up the street from my uncle's house or whatever, in like a little ritzy neighborhood. It's already one of those places where like, and these are not the types of shows that like everybody's gonna have access to, right? Like they're gonna be high ticket items, whatever. Again, same shit. Packed venue, outdoor venue, but still packed, no masks. Now I hear that, because everybody's been saying there's no cases and there's no cases, of course, a bunch of Haitians who live overseas went home for the holidays, and now the cases are starting to pop up. So I'm prepared to be inside till July because y'all motherfuckers don't want to sit down.
Well,
That's not why we're here today. It's not.
I wish somebody who don't want to take the vaccine would give me theirs. I'm going to Florida to get my vaccine because it's first come, first serve.
Is it really? Like they're not prioritizing anybody?
The old people. But then after that, it's a free for all.
Oh God, of course, because Florida. So look, we're gonna do our best to see what we can do so that our brave producer Anatomy is able to render us an episode that drops before Friday. Because this is technically our last episode of 2020, not our first episode of 2021. And the last time that we came together, we talked about the albums that stood out or disappointed us from January to June, because I don't know if this year had more releases than previous years, but it felt like it. But also, there's been so much shit going on that we barely remember what dropped in October, and it's now December. So today we're back to talk about all the shit that happened from July to now. Starting with both Pop Smoke and Juice World, who dropped posthumous albums after their very, very untimely deaths, both in July. Pop Smoke's Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon came out on 4th of July weekend. It was ridiculously long. And then they turned around 2 weeks later and made the 19-track album a 23-track deluxe album. And that's when you and I had this conversation, Sis, about like why people keep doing that with the deluxes. So
yeah, we had a deluxe problem. Uh,
in
um,
2020.
but I think people had a lot of content. Shit, we ain't going nowhere. What was we gonna do?
Yeah, but I mean, like, are we not going to be here next year? Can some of that content not drop next year?
Yeah.
Does it all have to come out now?
We're also in the streaming race. So the more you put, the more songs you put out, the more, especially if you're a big artist, the more numbers you put on the board. So we know we've seen Chris Brown with that, but I mean Uzi did it well, and some people didn't do it so well. So
Well, yeah, because Uzi, every deluxe project that Uzi dropped was really like a
whole
new
nother
project.
Yeah.
But like you said, that's not what everybody did. So, oh shit, somebody just reminded me that I need to go buy some champagne for mañana. Are you still listening to this Pop Smoke album or anything from this Pop Smoke album? Did anything stick?
From this one,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I got some stuff in the playlist. Dior, Diana, Paranoia. It's a couple joints in here. I
Okay.
haven't really like gone back to it, but it's it's some stuff. Um, it's a lot of content, So when I go on certain playlists, you're gonna hear Pop Smoke. Just kind of
Right.
what it is. And the album did pretty good. He got the number one. Did really good on the streams.
Mm-hmm.
It hit number one in a bunch of other countries. So it was a decent effort for them to be trying to put it together. You know, it's tough to do a posthumous album.
Right. And I feel
Um,
like they did definitely capture like the essence of who he was, and it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like them posthumous joints that Diddy tried to
oh
drop
yeah,
after
no,
Big.
he had a lot of content. You could tell like he had a lot of content that was ready to go. Like this didn't sound like they was just like going in and taking verses and throwing them on different beats and nah.
Yo, I really want to know what the hell this is about. Okay. What about the Juice World project?
So
Because Pop died in February, right? Like February, March.
yeah,
And then but Juice World passed away what last year?
yeah, yeah. Juice
Okay.
WRLD passed away last year. So Legends Never Die came out, and I remember the first joint that I listened to was a joint with Marshmello. Um, and then Come and Go. Yeah, Come and Go. That's the joint. I really like that Come and Go joint with Marshmello. It's got like a
Mm-hmm.
EDM rock vibe. Another solid project. I think of the two, this was the better project. I'm pretty surprised this one didn't get any Grammy attention.
Why do you think that is?
You know what? I don't know. I really can't say. Um, I the Grammys this year is a shit show. Period. So we talked about that a little bit, but
We did.
um,
I think we talked about it a lot, but
yeah. So I just think the Grammys this year was a shit show. I was talking to somebody about it, and they were like, "Well, posthumous albums." I'm like, "That's not really true. Posthumous albums get nominated for Grammys all the time." So you know, but once again, it's this joint's got some really good production. Got a couple good songs on here that I fuck with, but
mm-hmm.
for his fans, this is a treat. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
The joint "Smile" with The Weeknd, "Life's a Mess" with Halsey. You got the joint with Polo G and Kid Leroy. Like, there's some stuff on here. Um, so you know,
This project is one of those projects that makes me feel old because I'm unfamiliar with most of his features. Definitely unfamiliar with him. Um and I also didn't necessarily like and don't get me wrong, again, if you listen to this podcast, watch us when we record, whatever, y'all know that I'm the queen of saying I can distinguish between shit that's not for me and shit that's not good. And just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not good or doesn't have value. Um, I just really like I don't know nothing about like him or his music, and so I wouldn't have anything to compare it to. I wouldn't know if it was a good project or not. Like I'm just really completely out the loop when it comes to him. But that being said, I do hate that neither him nor Pop Smoke was able to see. Like unlike Mac Miller, like Mac Miller passed away and it's tragic and he died young, but he got to get his flowers for real. And he got to
well,
enjoy
he
a
got
little bit of
Mac had a
beauty.
career.
Yeah.
As young as he was, Mac had some skin in the game. He had a lot of success. He had
Toured and
yeah, and really with Juice World, I mean, Juice World was a pop artist, and
okay.
he was big because he Like even the people I'm mentioning, these are like white artists. You know, Marshmello's a really big EDM DJ. Halsey is
Yeah.
a huge
Pop
pop
star.
artist. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So like the records that he was making, you know, he did the Lucid Dreams joint, you know, with the Sting sample.
Hmm.
Um, he was like melodically like one of the leaders of his generation. You know what I'm saying? Super, super talented kid. Could freestyle his ass off. You know, so and his album was one of the best selling albums of the year. You know what I'm saying? Period. So that was kind of fucked up. I mean, you know, the whole situation fucked up, but I mean, this kid really, really, really had a lot left
To give,
to
yeah.
give. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he sold almost 500,000 album equivalents in the first week. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So
And he went number one too, right?
yeah, I think he had like 450 million streams or some shit
Yeah, like he definitely broke a
in the
record
week. Yeah, so at the time his album was the top album of the year when it came out, which I
in
think
July.
I think
Taylor
Taylor
Swift
beat.
came through and
Yeah,
said
I
no.
think BTS and Taylor both kind of surpassed it, but
But
still top 5 project of the year.
yeah,
Um, period. So you know, even you know the UK doing crazy numbers. So I was surprised. I was surprised he didn't get any love in the Grammy situation.
you know, the Grammy's gonna Grammy. Speaking of Taylor, she did drop Folklore like maybe 2 weeks after Juice WRLD's joint came out.
She did, and that shit came and man, the Taylor Swift effect. So this is her first album. First of all, it was a shock.
Right, because she like announced it and then dropped it like the next week or something like that, right?
Right. Yeah. So no, she said, I think she said, "Yo, it's coming out," and then the shit came out the next day.
Right, right, right,
Yeah.
right. Or like that
So
night. Like she came out the morning and
right.
was like, hey guys, midnight tonight, pull
Yeah.
up.
So this was her collection of pandemic songs. Um, you know, the whole thing is produced by Aaron Dessner and Jack Antonoff. It's been nominated for album of the year at the Grammys. It broke the streaming record, the Guinness Book of World Records for the I think the biggest opening day on Spotify
Of course it did.
for an album by a female artist or whatever. It sold 2 million copies this first week globally. Number one in all these
It
countries.
tailored, basically.
Tailored,
Tailored did
overly
what she was gonna
tailored.
do.
And it's crazy. The crazy part is, man, you hear people talk so much mess. Like when Taylor was getting into it, you know, with Scooter and Taylor, we can't. Man, let me tell you something. Taylor's fans
Every time.
far and wide, and they show
Every
up and show
time.
out. And the dope part was had all kind of bundle, like she didn't do bundles, but she had all kind of like special packages, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they just the rollout was just genius.
Yeah. And she's really
Um,
good with that.
absolutely. So Taylor's a complete artist, and
Let me tell you what's really gonna blow up is she's re-recording all of the catalog that Scooter Braun bought and then sold.
then
And
so
when she
right,
dropped that shit, she gonna make a whole shit ton of money on that shit again.
and then she's still making money on other stuff because she's still
Right.
on the publishing on it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, that's
Um,
yeah.
and then last for our highlights was for the month of July was Logic, who dropped No Pressure.
Logic said I'm out.
And with his retirement album, still failed to make me give a fuck about Logic.
And that's cool because Logic's fans give a fuck about Logic.
Right. They
And
don't have
that is what Logic has embodied. The power of the fan base. And Logic turned that fan base into a huge Twitch deal. Where he can sit and play video games and talk shit and play more music.
mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like when Hove said, "I'm going to sign the Rock Nation." We were like, "What?" I mean, Live Nation. We were like, "Wait, you can't do that." Sure, you can.
And he was like, watch, let me show you. Let me show
Sure,
you.
you can. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
because you know at the end of the day, I'm just going to change where the money comes from. So you know the whole I'm retiring. Okay, cool, Logic, whatever.
Um,
Cool.
I'm glad that we are getting to a point now where hip hop can truly segment, meaning that you can have a bunch of different spaces where artists are actually able to attain a certain level of success. Like not like your one group of artists who are like huge and making a bunch of money and everybody else is kind of like, struggling on the backside or whatever. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
a whole bunch of different pockets for people to actually be successful, have a recognizable name, and be in completely different lanes. Like you said, I don't have to care about Logic because Logic has fans who care very much about Logic.
So I listened to this album. Um, so I've listened to Logic albums before. I have friends who work with them and all that kind of stuff. So I like to check out what they've done or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, Logic is a fan rapper. I like it. Um, he's a fan of like Wu Tang and like all these other things. So
Okay.
you know this his albums are like homages to the people who he enjoyed. He's got a joint called Soul Food. He's got a joint Aquarius. It's a bunch of joints that are nods. He got Heard Him Say. Like it's a lot of tracks on here that are nods to people that he grew up listening to, really dope MCs. You know what I'm saying?
If
Um,
he was Jordan or Lucas, we'd say they were gimmicks.
well, we just don't like Jordan Lucas. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we just don't like him. So, but tons of people don't like Logic,
Right.
because probably because
Because haters gonna hate.
but he's not making something to say that they're dope. Like I get it, but I'm just glad he brought back Toro y Moi. That was a really dope record. Actually, I think they did two records. So
I'll have to take your word for it.
I really enjoy how much Logic enjoys music and his
Okay.
fandom. You know what I'm saying? And then also embracing like being a dad and growing up and that kind of stuff. So it's not everybody's cup of tea, but number one, the kid can rap.
Right.
And he makes good songs. It's
Right.
just not necessarily for everybody.
For
The
everybody.
subject
Which
material.
is which is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fine. We have to see if this retirement sticks though. But I also like the idea of somebody his age coming into the game and saying, "Yeah, you know what? I made 3 albums. They did well enough for me to be content with what they've done. They're going to continue to bring me money. It's residual income in a way. I toured off of these albums and now I want to retire because if you think about it, soccer players are pretty much done by 30. Tennis players are pretty much done by 30. Like most athletes, there's a lot of careers where people go in really young and make a lot of money and they're able to just bow out or they have to. Sometimes they don't have a choice but to bow out in their 20s. So I'm cool with him retiring and not coming back. And I'm not even saying that like to be shady. Like I would love to see the model of a hip hop artist who comes in really young, does what they're gonna do in 5, 10 years, and then falls back and goes and does something completely different, whatever that something completely different might be. You don't think
So
he's really retiring?
nah, I mean
Okay.
you don't retire from music. What you do is you pivot, right? And that's the dope part. It's that he can go and control his own destiny, right? And do the things that he likes to do, which is going to include new business endeavors. So it's not going to be, yo, my whole life revolves around making music for people.
Right.
And people will start to understand that, right? He has fans. His fans translate. They don't care what Logic is doing.
Right.
They want to interact with him. They want to watch him. My man had 90,000 people watching him on Twitch for his party. His album release party.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Twitch threw him a bag. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, but he's still very much a musical artist. It's just that he's not in that system anymore. So he can write his own story, whatever that is. So if that's, just freestyling with a band or, just, whatever. But music's always going to be a part of who you are. So I don't know if that means, dropping another album next year independently or whatever, but I'm pretty sure we'll see something from Logic at some point. Remember how many times Jay-Z tried to retire? and he's
He
still
only
not
tried to retire
retired.
one time. It was only
No, he
one
didn't. He
time.
retired after Volume 3.
Did
Volume
he?
3, yeah,
Oh,
Volume 3 was supposed to be his last album.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, if you listen to NYMP, and then the last track is an outro where he's talking about he's done. Um, Sean Carter's dead. Like the whole day, yeah, he was supposed to be out. Then he came
Hmm.
back. Um, so
Never
yeah,
knew that or never noticed that.
yeah. Hove tried to retire a bunch of times. He knew he was an old nigga. Like it was funny. We was talking about Hove with the
Sorry.
do rag, and they were like young Hove. We was like, nah, he was still old. Like do rag Hove was old. You know what I'm saying? He just was younger
Yo,
Hove.
I just thought about how long ago it was when he sang uh that the exact line is not coming to me, but like he basically said the shit's been different since he said hi to 30.
Mm-hmm.
I burn better. What song is that?
I burned better.
Right, like it's right there on the tip. Nigga, all I need.
Oh, that's Jigga, that nigga Jigga.
Is that what it's on? It's not all
Yeah.
I need.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, same
Yes.
album,
Knock
right?
away.
That's still
Means
Blueprint.
bucket. I'm
Blueprint came
down the
out
come
like,
close
listen,
with
Hope
jacket.
about to be
Couple
50.
chicks by my side. That's right.
Hope about to be 50, and I'm okay with
Nigga
it.
been focused since I said hi to 30.
Hmm.
Young nigga, y'all can't hurt me. I'm doing better. I burn
That's one of
cheddar.
my favorite songs. So
And
August
shout to
gave
Benny.
us a bunch of shit, but August for us that we want to talk about includes one surprise, one disappointment, and one Which shall we start with? Let's start with should we start with the disappointment or the surprise?
Let's start with the disappointment.
So Burner Boy announced the project. It's called Twice as Tall. It was executive produced by Diddy. It should have been amazing.
Should it have been?
It should have been. I am a
In
very, very
theory.
big Burner Boy fan, and I cannot tell you one song on this album.
Well, but see, we said it should have been because we thought that Puff was
Well,
gonna
actually,
get
no.
it.
Comma is actually a joint that I've listened to a couple times.
Ah, Jay-Z tried to retire 3 times. There you go. Okay. So
Hi, Envy.
here's my problem with this was um I think he tried to make an American album.
Right.
He tried to make something that Americans would be like, hey, we accept that. But you did it with the wrong people.
And I
You know,
really, but
you know who
also
should have
I
did
really
this?
wish that people would stop giving international artists that advice
But but
because
but here's
people
but
fuck with
I
Ye.
but here's who should have done it. The Neptunes.
Mm. Why you say Neptunes?
Because they know they have a proven track record of making music on an international level and respecting who the artist is.
Okay.
So my problem with this is I'm just looking at the producer list. Timbaland, Diddy, Mike Dean, Mario Winans, Andre Harris. Like these are not people that are going to give you the bops you need. They're not going to understand your groove.
Right.
And now it's okay if you worked with those people and you had your people running point. And then Diddy came in to oversee and make sure everything was, but that's not what happened. And
Right. I mean, that's like I just really like you said, it's definitely working with the wrong people, but it's also the fact that like if we've learned nothing from 2019 and 2020 musically, is that Bad Bunny does not have to rap in English. It's that Burna Boy does not have to make an American leaning song, neither does Davido. And people will be perfectly fine. Tiwa Savage
well,
can give you a whole
I,
song in
I don't I don't I
Pidgin.
don't I don't agree with that, and I'll tell you why.
No, I'm saying they don't have to. They can.
No. But I think Burna Boy does, and I'll tell you the difference. Right?
Okay.
It's black art versus anything else. There are enough Spanish speaking people in America to allow Bad Bunny and J Balvin and anybody else who wants to be successful to blow up and be successful here.
Okay. The
They got their
Nigerians would
own.
like a word. No, I'm just
They got
playing.
their own venues. They have their own everything. They have their own infrastructure. Every city you go to, Chicago, Philly, New York, Atlanta, wherever they got their own shit. And they show up and they buy tickets, right?
Okay.
If when you're an artist from the continent, or if you're from like London, or your whole dream and goal is to be accepted by American music.
Which is
So
nuts to me.
it is. I mean, maybe, but it is. We're the validation.
No, it is, but that's my thing. Is like it's nuts to me because these guys, listen, Ye has 81 million plays on fucking Spotify. Like obviously he was doing just fine with the shit that he was making. I can
Yeah,
pull up
but
the video. I'm sure the video is like
but if
beyond.
you but if you can't tour in America and you don't get number one in America, you're not getting a real American Grammy, you're not the international one. Like that's the thing, and any
Okay.
artist will tell you that. So and is it right? No, but it's the way it is.
Well, guess what?
And once again, I think that it's just he went too far.
Yeah.
You went too far. You do y'all interpolating Mark Anthony. Y'all you doing songs with Chris Martin in a not in an unnatural way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And once again, we'll talk about this theme later on. But when you try too hard to produce an album to please certain people instead of making the best album you can, if there
Mm-hmm.
were natural collaborations, and this is why I said, if you would have had somebody like the Neptunes who understand international vibes, international music, who make different types of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Timberland is cool, right? But Timberland is not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that guy. His groove is very American. It's very hip hop. It's very
Yeah.
R&B. You know what I'm saying? He's not a Pharrell or a Chad or any.
And but here's the crazy thing about it is my sister's always said that she felt like Timbaland's beats reminded her, or the drums specifically reminded her of Haitian carnival music. So there's
I gotta
always kind
check.
of been
I
in
gotta
the
check to see.
drums.
I
Hmm?
gotta check to see if the niggas who made it were Haitian. Might have been.
Wow. Says wow. So there's a very big possibility that this list of producers are like people that Burna Boy himself always wanted to kind of work with, right? But like you said, it just it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel natural, and then they were hindered by the fact of like this was in a pandemic. This was 2 months after the riots and everything. This was 2 months before the elections, 3 months before the elections. Like it was a lot of shit going on, and he wasn't able to tour. I saw him do an interview about it with I'm blanking on her name, but she is the culture editor for Teen Vogue, and they did an Instagram live interview about this album like a week ago.
Listen,
Maybe 2 weeks ago. It was definitely in December. He just went to Haiti, and that was his first show this year.
the fuck do you
Was
have
last
Naughty
week
by
in
Nature?
last week in Haiti.
Why the fuck do you have Naughty by Nature on your album, bro?
Why? All right, so
And
that was our
listen,
disappointment.
no disrespect, Naughty by Nature. I love
No
Naughty by
disrespect, not by
Nature,
nature, but this ain't where we want to see y'all.
but what the fuck is this?
Why are
So
you here?
we'll just leave that here.
Oh, why are you here?
Right. All right.
Oh,
Let's
why
keep
are you
it.
here?
Let's keep it moving.
All right. So Aminé had a big hit with that song Caroline
Caroline. Mm-hmm.
3-4 years ago. A lot of people failed to delve into Aminé past Caroline.
You know why?
And that's unfortunate because Aminé is actually super talented.
Yeah, but that nigga's from Portland, bro.
Right, but he's still really, really talented.
There's a lot of talented
So
niggas in Portland. Shout out to Trox.
are there?
Yeah,
Oh.
oh yeah. Tons of talented people in the hip hop scene. There you
Isn't
have it.
isn't
Tons of people.
isn't that where no, he's from Seattle. Sir Mix a Lot.
Yes.
Anyway, so Charlie Wilson is on this album, so is Young Thug, Vince Staples, Summer Walker. I feel like Charlie Wilson is on there twice, but he's only credited on one of the songs. And it's a really good project. So that's my recommendation for y'all. I'm certain you haven't heard this album. It was called Limbo and it dropped in August. And I definitely recommend that y'all check that out because it was dope. And check him out because he was dope. Now the womp womp womp.
I just got one. I got one question
Sure.
real quick about
Sure,
Young
sure, sure.
Lady. What the fuck is his label doing?
Who is this label?
Republic.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, there's your answer.
I mean, it looks like the formula. I mean, I didn't listen to it, but I
But
mean,
like, name me one album. Name me one artist that they're doing right by right now.
um, you talking about hip hop?
Urban. Let's say urban.
um, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one.
There you go. I definitely just came across my man Anthony Flamia, Shots of Flams, posting videos on Instagram demanding, asking fans to help him demand that the label let him post his own music on TikTok. So yeah.
Go
Uh
labels.
huh.
I said go labels
And to think Jizza tried to warn y'all in 1995.
before
Um
he signed to a label.
as he was signed to a label, because that project wasn't independent.
Right.
Shouts to Steve Rifkin though. Okay, the Womp Womp was the only thing I heard all year about Young Dolph's album was that he was giving away some kind of super duper expensive car. And I never heard nothing else about it. But it came
Uh,
out.
did he give the car away?
I'm sure. I don't know.
Um,
I'm looking at these numbers on, so we sometimes pull up, like, we
no, he
pull up
did.
the
No,
credits.
he gave it away. He gave away a free Lamborghini.
A Lamborghini. You gave away a Lamborghini rather than to take that money and invest in, I don't know, marketing, maybe some kind of promo situation. I don't know.
What was he trying to do? Like, what were you trying to do, bro? This is the thing
Whose
that
idea
like
was this?
this is the thing I don't get.
Y'all got to stop having marketing strategies like meetings while you're just like super, super
And
zooming.
shout out to this young lady in Texas who won this Lamborghini.
And I hope
But
she
like,
sold it and paid off some bills. I really hope she's not just
right,
sitting on a
because don't
fucking
nobody
Lambo.
need that shit.
You don't.
You don't need that shit, sis. Um, Dolph, what are you trying to be? And I'm a Dolph fan. Um, I don't know.
It was
Let's talk
whatever
about the
the
music.
point was, it certainly did not do it. It certainly did not achieve any of what he was trying to do. I literally, when I tell you, and again, I mean, I'm not necessarily his audience, but I'm a person who is cursorily aware of a lot of things. And I just really like, that's the only thing I heard about this project was the fact that he was giving away this fucking Lambo. And none of these song titles sound familiar to me. And I mean, like all these other artists that we talked about, he has fans. And so there's multiple songs on a project that have, multiple millions of streams
I'm gonna
on
tell you what's
just one
sad about this
platform.
album. I'm gonna tell you what's
Hmm.
sad about this album. Right. So it debuted at number 4.
Okay.
Wikipedia don't even have a page for it, which
Hmm.
means they didn't even care enough to talk about it.
Hmm. Or he spent the marketing and PR money on Lambo and didn't have anybody to pay to write the wiki.
Well, generally, I mean, yeah, yeah, but generally they'll pick it up. But I'm just saying it wasn't when they don't pick it up when there's nothing. It's probably not an interesting album.
You're right.
So,
Yikes, buddy.
and I'm just like, where was the single? Like, what was the thing for this
There's a
year?
song on here with Meg. It's called R&B,
Oh,
like R, the letter N
yeah,
and B.
RNB. I see that, and apparently it was number 1 on the U.S. bubbling charts, and then
Bubbling,
and then
bubbling.
it, right.
What does
It
that even
reached
mean?
it reached 46 on the R&B and hip hop charts, and then I guess it tumbled because I ain't
And
hear
then,
of it.
and then he has a song with Key Glock, which I feel like there's a segment of the population that would be really, really interested and excited about that.
I'm just listen. I want to hear Dolph. I'm a nigga who wants to hear Young Dolph,
Hmm.
and I'm a nigga who wants to hear Young Dolph who lives in Atlanta. and I didn't hear Young
And you
Dolph.
didn't hear Young Dolph.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm a nigga that's here, that's willing and ready for
I'm
it.
a Young Dolph fan, and I didn't hear Young Dolph. Y'all
Well,
failed me.
hopefully he's learned from his mistakes and he'll do better with the next project.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So September brought us the real version of the Carter 5, the version that y'all should have. Is that the one? Was that the one? Am I thinking of the right album?
Which one?
Carter 5? Is that the one that he dropped like the real version of it?
I don't even fucking know.
Oh, come on,
Fuck
man.
Lil
You're supposed to
Wayne.
know these things that I don't care about.
I don't give a fuck about Lil Wayne.
Okay. So out of one of the many Carters, Wayne re-released uh one of them because there was a leak way back when it came out. There we go.
Yeah.
It was the original. So that's what it was. What he released on September 20th of this year was the original version of the Carter 5, which even though it was called the Carter 5 Deluxe, because the Carter 5 back when it came out originally in 2018 had leaked, and so they moved some shit around and released something that was different than what it was originally supposed to have been when it came out in 2018, after like which was 7 years after the Carter 4 came out.
So basically, he
So
dropped a 33 track deluxe version of the Carter 5. Gotcha.
and nobody cared.
And then he dropped No Ceilings 3, and nobody cared. Fuck Lil Wayne.
This is so weird because like I feel like I don't know what happened to Wayne.
Whatever happened to Wayne a while ago. It's just
Yeah, absolutely.
we keep sticking microphones in his face.
I think that I feel like Wayne is one of those people that really would have retired long ago if he had even a modicum of an idea of who he is outside of what he does.
Because he's never been anything other. Y'all, like we watch Wayne, Wayne grow up. This is all he knows.
Because y'all had a room the other day. You were in a room the other day. I think it was a Bounce Gang room called "What You Are Not What You Do."
Right.
And like I think me and you had a conversation, or we might even have had the conversation on here about the fact that like being forced to be inside and not be outside, going to industry events, socializing, interviewing anybody or whatever, was kind of a shock to my system because it was like, oh shit, I know a lot of people, but plot twist, these people are coworkers, they're not friends. Right? No shade, but like these are people that I see and socialize with in the context of my job. And once that part of my job shifted, or I was no longer doing that part of my job, I don't see these people. I don't talk to these people. I don't interact with these people like that. Right.
Right.
Wayne, like you said, has been a rapper since he was doing interviews telling us and doing songs telling us that his mother doesn't allow him to curse.
Yeah. Man, he's been a rapper since he was a child. He grew up as a rapper, and
I feel like he's tired of rapping.
Well, I'm tired of him talking. I'm tired of him rapping. I'm just tired of Lil Wayne.
You're not even listening to his raps.
No, you know what? I'm be honest. I was listening to his drops. Lil Wayne was putting out shit here and there. Nobody else knew, and I talked about it on every episode of this damn show. Hey, Wayne put this out. Nobody cared. Whatever. The moment Wayne jumped up and said, I'm me and Donald Trump. And this was after you'd already done all this dumb shit. Niggas forgave you for doing all this dumb shit, saying dumb shit, just being a dumbass. I don't see color and all that shit. Nah, you out of here, bro. You out of here. Fuck him. Let's move on.
All right, Weezy. Machine Gun Kelly.
What's the tag? Weezy out of here? Yeah, get
Woo! Ha! Machine Gun Kelly leaned all the way into
the pivot.
My boy from Pittsburghness.
With the pivot, Cleveland.
And apparently it was great.
Listen, he got Megan Fox out of it.
I mean, he had Megan Fox rapping. I think, from what I understand.
Really? Well, yeah, maybe.
But he did because it was like a whole thing. Like they've been a thing for a minute.
I'm pretty sure, but I think she likes this version of him.
I'm sure. This project was produced by Travis Barker.
Yeah.
Um,
Tickets to my downfall.
this project became like the first number one something something that Bad Boy has had
How
in
about that?
fucking years. Is this the one or is it the one before this?
How about the fact that he still signed the fucking Bad
How
Boy?
about the fact that he is still signed to Bad Boy Records?
And I'm
How
just gonna
about
come
it?
out and say it. I like this album. I like this album a lot.
Right.
It's a very good
Oh no,
album.
it wasn't this project. Maybe I think it might have been the one before because the one before says Bad Boy and Interscope. The lockdown sessions that he did, which was him kind of like softly bringing y'all over to this side of him,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then
because
the new
people
one
wouldn't have
just says
been.
Interscope.
Yeah, people
I'm
wouldn't have
not
been
sure.
ready. But Bloody Valentine was fire. He did a couple joints. I think he was like singing on his porch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the quarantine sessions or the
Right.
lockdown sessions he called
Yeah.
it.
So those were dope. I like this. I'm not even mad on it. I like his Love on the Brain version. It was cool. Um, yeah, I didn't know he had it in him. So
Oh no, this is a Bad Boy album also.
yes, it is. It's a Bad Boy album. Bad Boy Interscope.
First top 10 album for Bad Boy Records in a millennia
Mm-hmm.
or of the
Mm-hmm.
millennia. So wild. But my first experience with Machine Gun Kelly was him performing Wild Boy. They had a I'm sorry, I just heard shit, but I have a dog, so I guess if it was shit to worry about, she would tell me. They had a album release party for him. No, it was a maybe BT Awards weekend party that they did at the Microsoft store at Lennox before Lennox was ghetto. Because Lennox Mall has metal detectors outside now.
Yeah, you know why? Because niggas
I
keep
know why.
coming. Niggas keep coming from other cities and shooting the shit up.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, and he jumped up on the tables with all the computers to perform his fucking song. The people at the store were livid. He jumped up, he did his song, he jumped down and like left expeditiously. And the people were mad. Like they were so mad because obviously nobody knew that this was gonna happen. So they had actual live like computers on the
That'd be
table.
that'd be fine.
Machine Gun Kelly didn't care.
They all listen. Fuck that job because they all lost their jobs anyway.
Well, yeah.
So what was the point?
Yeah.
Hey,
And
listen. If you're out there and you work for somebody else, stop worrying about their shit. It's not
then,
yours.
yeah,
It's not yours.
it's not your shit. It's
You're just
really
an
not.
employee.
Y'all be looking like y'all about to die. Like, have you seen that? There was this video of this girl that like was really putting herself in harm's way over some shit at like the dollar store.
right, like lady.
And like, it ain't nothing wrong with you working
The
at the
dollar
dollar store, but
store.
I'd
No,
be
no,
damned
no.
if I'm about to die for Dollar General.
Right. You gonna get into some shit over some dollar candy or a damn dollar detergent? Like, lady, sit your ass down and let them people do what they gonna do,
And then
and
if you try
let
to
the
fire me,
cameras
if you
let
try
the
to fire me
cameras do
saying
what
that I
they
was
do.
complicit,
No, let the cameras do their job. Let the police do their job.
right? That's it.
Fuck that. You ain't lost prevention.
Pretty simple.
They're
They
not
should have
paying
hired
you for that.
security if they wanted all
Right.
that. Um, and then September gave me an album that I actually enjoyed, and I'm very surprised that I forgot happened, which was Detroit 2.
Jesus, we're only in September.
I mean that we only have 2 more months left. It's fine. Okay, September is almost the end of the road. And this is the last album we're going to talk about in September. So, Big Sean came with Detroit 2. Big Sean came with, I guess Instagram does not stream for over an hour anymore, huh?
Wow, mine's still rolling.
Huh?
Mine's still rolling.
Mine said the video ended.
Oh, they just did say that.
Weird.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, as we refresh, Big Sean had this project with a feature from Nipsey Hussle. He had the song Body Language with Jhené Aiko and Ty Dolla $ign. He had a joint with Anderson .Paak and Wale. He had a joint with Hit Boy and Young Thug, Travis Scott, Diddy. He had another song with Jhené Aiko. Um, it's a really good project.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I just wish he'd have got it in that week that Deep Reverence came out, so he would have been Grammy eligible.
That's cool. He'll have a better chance of winning it next year.
Yeah, I just hate. Nah, I think he'd have won it this year. This category
Well,
is
yeah,
weak.
because that category is
Um,
full of like y'all just said this to say it.
um, because I feel like the things that barely missed the cutoff, they often forget about them the next year. Because you gotta like really keep that shit in people's minds. But no, this project was pretty dope. Um, Deep Reverence, really good single. A lot of good joints on here, good features.
Yeah. I really enjoyed,
Oh, and the
and I'm
skits,
surprised I haven't gone back to listen to it.
skits and skits and skits.
Spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. Oh, that was
Really
jokes, jokes,
enjoyed
jokes.
the
8
Stevie
miles.
Wonder story. That was pretty
Yo,
dope.
zone the fuck out is my shit. Is the Stevie Wonder story the one about Big Sean's dad?
No, that is the Dave Chappelle story.
Oh, okay.
Stevie Wonder's story is about growing up in Detroit. Because Stevie Wonder is also from Detroit, which I don't think I knew.
I don't think I did either.
Yeah. My shit on here is harder than my demons. But
Mine is on the fuck out. Like that's the one song. That's the song that I do listen to regularly.
so besides Deep Reverence, which,
Besides which one?
Deep Reverence, which I just kind of listen to hear Nip sometimes.
Sometimes you got to. I feel it. All right, on to October. October gave us actually quite a bit of things. It gave us the anniversary of, or Bryson Tiller's anniversary project, which he released on the anniversary of his Trap Soul album. I wish that more of us could have cared about Bryson Tiller. Bryson Tiller was gone too long. Actually, no shit. Looking at these numbers on the lyrics, like maybe more people cared about it than I realized.
I don't care about that. I mean, I don't care what the numbers say. Ain't nobody care about that shit.
Oh,
I mean, I think people were able to listen just because we were all like, "What's Bryson Tiller going to do?" It didn't inspire anything.
hmm.
So my man's took off too long.
Yeah.
You had just started to be somebody.
And see, and if you're gonna take off that long and come back, you got to come back super strong. And I just don't think that he did. Like, you got to come back with like a campaign. You got to come back with like a ridiculous single. You can't
With
have
a
one very
story.
great
It's got to be a
sample.
story. Like you've been going all this time. What you been doing, fam?
He had a baby and got married.
Okay, so what's the story?
He had a baby and got married. What you
I
mean?
mean, but what's the pitch?
Oh, he
Like
had a baby and got
like
married.
yeah,
Never mind. I'm
niggas
joking.
niggas know what happened, but it's like what's
Nah,
the
I mean, he definitely did not come back as strong as he should have.
I mean,
That's for sure.
okay, cool. It's like all right, cool. You dropped now. All right, great. See you later.
Because yeah. So this is actually Bryson's third album. So
Yeah.
okay. Let's see what else. Trey Songz also dropped an album that nobody cared about. It was a lot of shit dropped that nobody cared about this year.
Um, I don't know. I cared about the Trey Songz album a lot more than I cared about the Bryson Tiller album.
I don't know anything about that. The only thing I know about that Trey Songz album was the trailer that he dropped, where the whole world got to see his baby mama, and that was a big deal to some people.
I
There's a
mean,
Trey Songz and DeVito song, and I don't know about it. Like, I don't really know where I was in October, honestly, friends.
so back home, with Summer Walker was a jam. Still is. I listened to it yesterday, 2 days ago. Um, it's if you missed this one, I would tell you to go listen to it. It's definitely some shit in there
Okay.
for sure. But the Summer Walker joint it's like the highlight of it.
All right. Hello, Santiago. Um, let's see. What else do we have? I'm trying to like build up to like the super fly shit. Black Thought dropped the project with, was it with Sean C? Or is that the joint he did by himself? No, this is the joint he did by himself, right?
Yeah, and it was
And they
like,
talked about it for so long that that's who pushed back an album.
yeah, he kept pushing it back because of the protests and all that kind of
And
stuff.
then Malik B, and then by the time he dropped it,
Right.
yeah. Um Wizkid dropped Made in Legos, who when I listened to it, I kind of also felt what you said about the Burna Boy project, which is that it felt like he was trying to make a palatable album for American audiences. The only difference being that he did it in a way that was still authentic to like other shit that he's dropped.
And you know, the reason why I like Wizkid is I still feel like he maintains the British side of himself too. You know what I'm saying? Like it still feels like it has that British influence. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel too American, you know. It is a little bit more palatable, but I feel like he really makes his stuff for Yardies and for Africans still. And that's dope. And I you know, he said he made like 6 versions of this album.
Here's something that y'all may or may not know about me. I'm low key, high key ratchet, low key, high key a hot girl. And so whenever somebody who's giving me like 3 joints that I love to dance to, which that's not really Wizkid's bag. Like Wizkid definitely loves him a fucking ballad. Him and techno love to give you a fucking ballad. But like there just wasn't enough that I could dance to on here for me. Like, and it wasn't a bad project. It was just, like a little bit more less up tempo than I would have wanted it to be. But not a bad project, and not definitely not like as disappointing as Burna Boy. And I'm sorry, I just got distracted by the fact that Dre's name on Clubhouse is Dre of Cool and Dre. No, it's
Well, yeah.
Dre and in brackets Cool and Dre.
Yeah, Cool always does that too. Um,
That's
yeah.
cute.
So did you know they end up signing 2 producers from Beast?
Did they?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, that's what's up.
D Dot and Sean Hibbler. So
That's what's up. That's really dope. That's really dope. That was a good time.
oh, great
I
time.
hate that we couldn't, I hate that was kind of the end, and
The
we didn't
Swan
know that that
song.
was the end. I wish we would have known that that was going to be the end, so that we could have properly.
Well, I think once we get up out of here, it just it's gonna evolve. I think there's still a lot more we can do out in the world with some
Okay.
same folks who we did the shit with. Because trust me, I've been planning this retreat, trying to get this shit off, and COVID just totally derailed it. But when
Hmm.
it happens, like I can't wait to get back in the live space. I love like working with people and hanging out in different environments. I'm tired of Atlanta.
That part.
I'm actually tired of my house.
Tired of my dog. No, I love my dog. Okay. You have Black Spin, the album on there, and I don't know who that. Oh, Blackpink.
Blackpink.
My bad, Blackpink. Explain to me Blackpink, because like I
Oh,
can't get
you gotta
into.
watch the so you gotta watch the Netflix show.
Do
Okay,
I
so
got
yeah,
to?
it was dope. I'm telling you.
Okay.
All right, so Blackpink is it's a Korean girl group. So in
Right.
Korea, they have like these like they get kids when they're young. You know, they give them they like their parents take them to these auditions. And
Yo,
then
K-pop is so big in Korea that there is, Korea is one of those countries where, like Israel, where young men are required to serve a certain amount of time in the military. And because of what's the other group? BTS,
yeah,
they literally changed the legislation to say that if you are like a K-pop artist, that you can defer your service.
yeah, and you know it's crazy. Footballers can't even do it because Young Min Son, who I mean Young Min Sung, who plays for Tottenham, had to actually during the offseason go and serve in the military.
Right.
You know, like, and then he went back when the season started. But I
And
mean,
then
he's
now he could turn around and look at these singing ass niggas.
right. So you got these 4 young ladies who are all, I think one of them's Thai. The other 3 are Korean, but they all grew up in different circumstances. One of them was raised in Australia. You know, they all have like a little different thing about him. But they put these
Mm.
young ladies together out of this boot camp and they formed Blackpink, and they've just been crushing shit ever since. And one of the main producers um, is this dude named, I believe it's 24. No, Teddy. It might be Teddy or 24. But one of their writers is this dude named Danny Chung, who's actually from Philly. He's a
Mm.
Korean dude from Philly. Ended up going to Korea to work in the K-pop space. He's super cool. But so the lead single is with Selena Gomez.
Yes, I know
And
about the single.
that shit goes. Ice Cream. And it's written by Victoria Monet. And I'm sorry, it's not Teddy. 24 is the guy. But it's written by Tommy Brown. I mean, it's done by Tommy Brown of Social House and all that stuff. Like pretty much, Ariana Grande squad. So they wrote this
Okay.
ice cream song. They got a joint Bet You Wanna with Cardi B.
I think I heard that song
Their
also.
performances are crazy. They're just like super talented, but I hope so, because they literally were like they were grown. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And I
Like,
think that that's the part that kind of doesn't sit right with me about K-pop is like I just really feel like in 6 more years one of these kids is going to come out with a tell all about like how horrible, you know
this
what
is
I'm
why
saying, like how they're
this
all
is why I'm
being
telling
like,
you. This is why
you know
I'm
what I'm
telling you to
saying.
watch the documentary. It's not long. It's super cool. It just like each one of them has their own personality. I think it's dope because these are people just like sports. Like it's like a sport to them.
Hmm.
They go in like AAU, they go into training, they're playing against other kids, they're practicing their craft, and like they come out with vocal training, they come out with dance training, but they already go in with the personality. And you see all these different folks have their own personality, just works. I wish we did more of that here. Because these girls gel naturally. Even BTS, they gel naturally. In a way that we used to see American groups gel,
Hmm.
but we don't anymore because it's a very microwaved process. What they're doing is not unlike the Jackson Five, or
You're not changing my mind. Talk about the Jackson
other
5.
groups. Well, I mean, the music speaks for itself,
I'm just
but
saying, I feel like they're all being abused.
uh, they're not.
I just really like that's just what feels like in my heart. Like somebody is just about to come out and be like,
So I mean, K-pop's been around for a while, and it's not something new. It's just the names change and the groups change. So
it also always freaks me out because like I'll fuck around and hear a K-pop song and it always takes me a second to realize that I'm not listening to English.
well, but they also dip in and out of English because they all speak English. So like there's like girls in the group who specialize in hip hop, and then you got like the girls who sing and do different styles or whatever. But they dip in and out of hip hop, and they use hip hop styles and different pop styles or whatever. So it's very easy to like get caught up in the melodies, and then be like,
No,
oh shit,
yeah, that's what happens to me.
what the fuck was that? What they say? Then they just dip into speaking
That's what
Korean.
happens to me. Like there's a BTS song that's on one of my playlists, and every time that shit comes on, I'm like, wait,
See,
what?
see.
All right. There's a lot of shit in October, bro. We said we were gonna talk about all the Griselda stuff together, so we'll leave that to the back. Um, a very polarizing release, Ty Dolla Signs featuring Ty Dolla Sign. A lot of people loved, a lot of people hated. Why
Uh,
did you not like?
um, I think it sounds exactly like the title. And I think that's the problem. I think every time I hear a Ty Dolla Sign project, it sounds like he's deferring.
Mm.
And, it's hard to shake. Like, did we ever really want a Nate Dogg album? Not
Didn't he
really.
drop one?
I don't know.
He
I couldn't
did.
tell you about it. But I could tell you everything he sang on with 213 and Snoop and all these other people. when you're like the hook master, when you're like the guy behind the scenes, et cetera, et cetera. I love to hear Ty Dolla Sign, but I don't want to hear Ty Dolla Sign by itself.
Nate Dogg actually released 2 solo projects. No, 3.
What are they
Wait,
called?
hold on. Let me just make sure that I'm looking at the right shit. Because
I
sometimes like
believe
it'll
you.
say album, but it's really actually a single.
Oh
So
yeah,
hold on, let me
I
pull
was
it
about
up.
to say like if you say so, but
There's an
it
album called Nate Dogg, and that was his second album. His first album was
was
called
that the one with the singles I got love on that one,
No, no,
right?
no. I'm sorry. The first album was G Funk Classics Volume 1. Is credited as the debut studio album by American hip hop recording artist Nate Dogg.
I'll take your
So
word
he
for
had
it.
3.
I'll take your word for it. I may have heard some of his singles. I know I got
But we
love
know
is
Cali artists. Yo, the first one was a 2 disc project.
yeah. Who remembers that? Who knows that? And that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm
nah.
looking at the songs. I don't recognize any of these songs.
But that's the thing. Like, Nate Dogg is iconic for his what he brings to a song, and I think Ty Dolla is also iconic for what he brings to a song. So when you get a project, it's like, is this going to be a Ty Dolla project, or is it going to be Ty Dolla doing some other shit? Now, the last project he released sounded like it was this same album, but like not fully done. This one sounds like it's done. That
Mm,
one sounded like it was reference tracks and stuff. That's why I didn't like that one. This one still sounds like he's the guest appearance.
right. So his own joke backfired
Right.
because that was the whole thing, right? Was that, it was based off of that meme.
And once again, it's not in any way bad music. It's just like it
I enjoyed
doesn't
the production on that project,
it
honestly.
doesn't like there's nothing on here that truly stands out to me.
I liked
Um
it. I liked it. I didn't like it enough to go back and listen to it enough. And the one song that I pulled off of it and put onto a playlist, every time it comes up, I definitely skip it.
so how much did you like it again?
I mean, I didn't go back and listen to it again, but like I remember while I was listening to it, tweeting about it and being excited to possibly talk to you about it once we did the show.
Yeah, and
I liked it that much.
that's where it's gonna get left. I listen. I like I know my time more than I know this.
Poor Ty Dolla Sign. Or not,
And
because I'm sure he's
nah.
represented.
But I just think Ty has a role, and I love Ty Dolla Sign. Don't get me wrong, but I just like him with other people.
So both T.I. and Busta Rhymes gave us Hey Nigga I Still Rap My Ass Off albums
They
in
did.
October.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, peppered these albums with just enough problematic shit
Oh,
for us to just kind of cover in our verse.
you know.
I'm never gonna recover from having Rhapsody come on and do a song with Busta Rhymes and having her play the role of the trash baby mama. I'm not gonna recover from that.
Why?
I'm not gonna recover from that, and I'm also not gonna recover from like I was riding with this T.I. album, and then there is a an interlude on there called Fire and Earth. Once I hit that interlude that was very preachy and misogynistic, I was just like, okay.
Tip going tip.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Didn't make it to Deja's conclusion. So, after the year of drama and all the things that came of his relationship with his daughter, she was the outro on the album. I didn't make it that far.
Well, you should go ahead and listen to it one day.
The whole thing? Or
No,
just her outro?
her outro.
Okay, cool. I can do that.
Yeah,
I
so
can definitely do that.
I'm glad that both of these niggas can still rap.
And like that is the one thing, um, absolutely no doubt that they can rap. Um, the song on Busta Rhymes' album, um featuring Rick Ross is probably the most mature, evolved Rick Ross I've heard.
Yeah, that's the one.
The Master Fard
About
Muhammad.
Farrakhan. Yeah, Master Fard Muhammad. Yep.
I remember though that I spent all of the album waiting for the song "You," which is the song that features Anderson .Paak. I was waiting for you to come on the whole time. Up until that song came on, which is track 13 or 12 rather.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also felt like there were certain songs that were on here where it felt like he was saying bye to us. Like the joint with Q-Tip, which interestingly enough is called Don't Go. Felt like victory lap, like a victory lap. Not like Nipsey's victory lap, but it felt like a victory lap. It felt like I just came here so I can gracefully bow out before it's not my time anymore.
Shout to Focus on that one.
Just a focus on everything, just for being focused.
Everything but Clubhouse.
Why he's not on there?
He refuses. You know, Focus is a
I mean, yeah.
Samsung lover.
I mean, also I. And then
But
lo and behold, now I own as many. There are as many iPhone products in my house as there are Samsungs.
Listen, I talked to Diane, and she said he won't get on this app. And I messaged him. I said, "Yo, we need you on Clubhouse." He said, "Nope." I said, "All right." There you go.
I enjoyed the Jackson 5 sample on the Kendrick joint. I did not enjoy You Will Find Another, which really sounded like the Mariah Carey joint part 2. Oh no, wait, that's Where I Belong featuring Mariah Carey. That just really sounded like
the only joints that I really couldn't get with was Oh No, because the sample was annoying. And Buster still tried to pull it off, but the sample was annoying as hell. I think that was really it.
No, you didn't get with the Don and the Boss either.
The Don and the Boss, yeah.
Keep it funky.
Yeah, I could do it out that too.
It sounded like some shit that we would want to have.
Right. You could take 13 and 14 out and I'm good.
Well, maybe I'll go back and listen to that again as well.
So
all right.
No. Out of My Mind was the one I don't want. I'll take Oh No back. Oh No's fine. It's that Out of My Mind with the bell.
And we were so excited. You were excited about that.
I was, because I was just impressed by the fact that he made it work, but the beat is annoying.
I was disappointed that the song featuring Old Dirty Bastard was not like some long lost ODB verse.
Oh no.
Well, I was disappointed. That's what I would.
You know what? So I was having a conversation with somebody, and it was like, "Yeah, something about High Tech fell off," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I said, I was like, producers go off and do, my man got hits for years. Legendary producer. He can't do other stuff. At this point in his career, he pick his projects and work when he feel like it. I mean,
exactly. But
yeah,
that's the goal for everybody.
But he came through. Him and the homie Terrence Martin came through on this that Master Fard Muhammad. So,
and then we had the leak by Jay Electronica that I somehow did not realize happened until like literally yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was old. It was a collection of old stuff. So
it was what?
It was a collection of old stuff. So
right, I heard that. Including Shiny Suit Theory again. How many times y'all need to give us Shiny Suit Theory?
Right. I'm like, again?
How many times do we need it? Like, it's cool.
So the shit was in cloud storage from I guess somebody he was working with. And a hacker hacker breaks into the cloud storage. So first of all, why does this hacker know that you got a Jay Electronica album on your cloud storage?
On September 20th, a leaker claimed he had found a version of the project from the specific date of September 3rd, 2012, and he would release it if he was crowdfunded $9,000. Within 12 days, various Jay Electronica fans had completed the funding. Y'all niggas really paid this man $9,000 collectively to drop a Jay Electronica album 6 months after you finally got a Jay Electronica album in a panoramic.
That's what they do.
That's in a Chrysler Pacifica.
That's the little Reddit hacker ass community. That's what they do. They
in a Patagonia, nigga. Like that's what y'all doing with your coins. Oh man. And then we had another tragic hip hop story with King Von's debut album arriving. And he had 2 whole weeks to enjoy his success before he was gunned down here in Atlanta on some bullshit. And it makes me really, really sad. because apparently he had moved to Atlanta to get away from the bullshit,
And the bullshit
and
still found him.
the bullshit still found him. But the project was called Welcome to O Block. So Funk Flex is getting ready to drop a new project, and King Von was actually featured on the first single from that project, and they had a video that they shot for it and everything. I think it came out a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
Um, but it's just still like it really hurts me because there's so much shit to cut through that it's not even possible for these kids who died before they even had any kind of a legacy or discography. Like, it's not like you can keep that, you can't really keep that shit alive like that. Not like how you did, a Biggie or whatever, or a Pac, who were already established.
You know, um, I just lost a friend in gun violence 2 nights ago in
I'm
Philly,
sorry to hear that.
and it's kind of crazy that we still put ourselves in these positions, and that it's still folks out here who could lose their life casually in a hookah lounge, or somebody having a disagreement and all that stuff.
Or
Like,
riding in your car past the mall at the age of 7
it's
or
yes,
9, excuse me.
it's just we got to do better. And I think hip hop knows we got to do better. I think the streets know we got to do better, because even listening to Meek Mill argue with the homie on Clubhouse, it's like, yo, I'm from Philly, I know that shit can spill over, and Meek knows it could spill over. I mean, that's why he jumped like that, because shit ain't sweet,
Wait, what
So,
are we talking about? Because I missed that. Because I
uh,
avoid
oh,
I avoid the mess on Clubhouse.
so it was actually a really good discussion that Meek was having about people in Philly asking him what they wanted from him as far as how to help or whatever. But you got to remember, a group of Poundside Pop, who's a young rapper, said that Meek can't come to the hood no more.
Really?
Right? So we didn't all understand the story, but it turns out that Meek was actually took the kid under the wing, and was going to sign him.
Mm.
But because Meek was showing love to some people that the youngin had beef with, he felt away. And instead of saying he felt away, or expressing it in a way that, yo, Meek, I don't really like this or whatever, he romanticized his relationship with Meek. Like, yo, this is my man. He ain't supposed to be doing that. This is corny. Like, it's like if you're in a relationship and you in your own head about what your partner's doing, but you're not talking to him about it.
Right.
So literally, this dude's manager got on stage and was like, "Man, you was liking other people's pictures."
What?
Right, but it
Oh,
was it,
okay.
it was really, so it was told that it was under the guise that Meek only offered him $20,000. So
Only.
Meek offered him $20,000 plus a $90,000 recording budget, and he was going to help him move out of Philly. One of the young dudes from around my way, he's from this neighborhood, what we call a Trap Street. Um, I guess he's cool with Poundside, and he was in the room, and he's like, "Meek, what we gonna do with 20,000? That's some real street nigga shit." Like, cause you out here trying to chase a bag every day, standing on a corner, or whatever it is you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and
Allegedly.
you trying to get to a bigger number. Now, first of all, I mean, I'm not even gonna tell the youngins like that money y'all getting. I'm from an OG trap block. Like, we did millions of dollars a day, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. you know, I got homies that's still locked up. Matter of fact, like I said, my man got killed by a youngin because that's the way that shit go. Um, but it's just like I knew that situation could escalate because we all from the same neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So people going to see people, but this is really all over some emotional shit.
Right.
Once people being emotional, arguments and shit that don't really matter. We out here
See, and we
beefing
were
with each
talking about
other.
that in that room yesterday right after you left. Like, we were just talking about the fact that, like, part of one of the side effects of like reality TV and the reality TV culture is just that, like, I don't know that these kids realize that, like, some of the things that they do have final consequences. Like, niggas ain't
Absolutely.
coming back from that shit. Like, you can't Like you pull out on somebody, you may kill that person and they can't come back, or you might paralyze that person and they can't come back, or you might fucking again get into a fight outside of the mall and pull your gun out instead of fucking duking it out with your fists. Pull a gun out, and then a 9-year-old riding by with her parents catches a stray and dies.
Absolutely. And Swizz was saying it the right way. Swizz was like, we gotta fuck with each other. We gotta fuck with each other. We gotta squash all the dumb shit. We gotta fuck with each other for our mutual benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, we arguing over dumb shit that don't matter in the long run. You know what I'm saying? People getting killed over shit that don't matter in the long run. But if we fucked with each other as a culture, even if we fucked with each other to survive, my nigga, like we gotta survive. You're from Haiti, somebody else might be from wherever, but in America, we know what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta fuck with each other, like the real way, not like the whatever, trying to get over on each other, whatever. So, you know, and we talk about Vaughn, we talk about Pop Smoke, like these all stem from the same issues.
Right.
You know, what happened with my man? He's all stem from the same issues: ego and machismo and toxic, you know, masculinity and all that shit. Like, oh yeah,
Street
like
codes.
right, like, but what does that shit really mean? And
Right.
when my cousin called me, we talking about it. We realized, like, first of all, we realized how lucky we are to be out of that,
Right.
because I looked at a picture the other day, and two of the people in that picture are dead.
Yeah, I got a homie from Bridgeport, Connecticut, who like always tells me that it's like one person that he grew up with that's still alive. Like it's him and
Bridgeport ain't no
one
joke.
person.
Like, and that's the thing. You got Bridgeport, you got Phillies, you got Baltimore's, you got Chicago's, you got Atlanta's. Like, this shit, it's the same shit though everywhere. You know, and Swizz Beat said it. We don't fuck with each other the way we should.
Right.
So, we got to spread love. We got to spread peace. Tell your people you love them. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't have all this dumb shit. And
Right.
then if you got beef with that man, well, I can't show love. Me can't show love to multiple people at once.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because
No.
then it becomes territorial,
We all become
right?
we all got to be mad.
Yeah. So
I'm being fully sarcastic.
no, but I feel you. But 2020 has been a year where we need to really look at what's important. I think we got to
Okay.
really come out this year as a culture, hip hop, and really just look and be like,
Yo, I ain't gonna
we got to do
front. I
better.
don't think that's happening until midway through next year.
We'll
I ain't gonna front.
see.
Like I just really feel like says it's today is the 30th. Well, really, it's past midnight. By the time y'all are listening to this, it's 2020. We are finishing this show on New Year's Eve on the very last day of 2020. By the time y'all are listening to this shit, it's probably already 2021. Like, I don't think that niggas is just gonna wake up on Friday, like in the Wizard of Oz when they woke up from from running through that poppy field. Like, I don't think that a lot of the a lot of the negative mindsets that kind of have put us in the situation, like everybody's not ready to shake that shit yet.
No,
You know what I'm
you're
saying?
right.
We were just talking about people going outside, not covering their faces, not just staying the fuck home. We are just talking about, the little girl that got shot outside of Phipps Plaza. That was like last week. And apparently niggas was fighting inside a perimeter mall yesterday or today. So,
Like, for what? First of all, why are you there?
why are you there?
Why are you there?
Why
Why
are
are
you
you going? And the worst part is, those places you would never, and that's another side effect. You would never have even found those types of things happening in those places.
right?
But niggas ain't got nothing to do. They riding around the city looking for some dumb shit to get into.
And then watch it also again be people who are not from here, because so far even that little girl was shot by somebody who was not from here.
Not from here, right? It's just people that keep coming here, like homie that shot up Allure from Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like, people coming here, the people who shot up Lennox the first time, not from here. It's but that's Governor Kemp don't give a fuck.
At all.
So
At all. At all. All right. On to November. We're almost through 2020. That worked way better than when we tried to do 2019 in January,
It
remember?
did, yeah, it did.
Because we just decided not to talk about everything and only talk about the things that really like moved us or disappointed us. So Jeezy dropped The Recession too.
I get, it came on the heels of his battle.
Right.
Um, I actually like some stuff on there. I just haven't had a chance to come back to it.
Right.
So that's the theme of this year, really. It's like we're trapped in a matrix. It's like a vortex. Time doesn't exist, and people can't focus. We got too much content to consume. It's a wild time. So maybe in 2021, at some point, I'll have time to go back and listen to all this music.
So
But
this brings me to what we were talking about earlier, where you said like it's a streaming war and da 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 da. I really feel like there's so much shit that it devalues everything. Which is how this is how supply and demand works, right? Like if there's what more supply than demand, shit becomes devalued. Like it's too much shit. I feel like, or maybe I'm trying to listen to too much of it. I don't know, but it's just too much shit, and I can never get through everything. It makes me sad.
yeah, are we done? Do we make it?
Huh?
I'm tired.
No, no. I mean, we're not. I mean, we haven't even said anything. We just said Jeezy for November. Okay. November also saw the return of Goody Mob with Survival Kit, which I'm hearing is a very, very great grown up rap album. Um, Two Chains finally really got me to a point where I had no choice but to say out loud that he probably is my favorite rapper after Jay-Z. I love Two Chains. So Help Me God was very much a Two Chains album. It didn't feel, it felt very comfortable. Maybe a couple misses on there. But it's another one of those projects that I think just did not get enough noise around it, maybe or maybe not because of the pandemic. And then DeVito gave us A Better Time, because his last album was called A Good Time.
Mm.
And so A Better Time features Nicki Minaj. It features his artist Mayor Coon. It features Chris Brown and Young Thug on the song called Shopping Spree, which is one of the best on there. Lil Baby's on there. Hit Boy and Nas is on there. And then a bunch of foreigners that y'all niggas don't know,
Mm.
including Saucy Saul, who is also on Burner Boy's project. So maybe somebody worth looking into. And then it also gave us Pluto X Baby Pluto, which you can tell us about because I ain't listening to that shit.
Wait, what?
No shade,
Ex
just saying.
baby Pluto? Oh, you talking about
Future and Lil Uzi Vert.
it was a project that they did.
Stop! It was a big deal. The Pluto by Baby Pluto joint.
I mean,
Oh
listen,
wow. You said it sounded like a Lil Uzi Vert project featuring Future.
I think everything that Future gets on when he does that with other people sounds like that.
It sounds like whomever it was. It never sounds like Future.
I think he assimilates a little bit. Well, I'm not talking about Future like melodically or whatever. The tracks feel like a Uzi project. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Didn't they do something early in the year that we were talking about?
No, I think they dropped 3 joints from this project. But
Was
people were
that what
talking
happened?
about
Because
this a while back
I
and thought
remember
it was
we
going to be a
did.
project, but they dropped like 3 songs.
So what project was that we listened to? We did the thing with Smart Boy and all them.
That was just Uzi.
That was just Uzi. Okay, but
Yeah,
he did have a joint. He had a joint there with Future. Okay, I got you.
possibly.
And it
Yeah.
and it sounded it sounded sonically like they were using like Uzi's producers and stuff like that. So like even on here you got Brandon Finesse and like these are like a lot of these cats are in-house Uzi producers. You know what I'm saying? You got a couple like Atlanta dudes, but like out of town and Brandon Finesse and all those guys are Uzi's people.
Okay.
Um,
So it should have been Baby Pluto by Pluto then.
I mean, it is what it is. I think there's something to say with you know the fact that Future could assimilate. I mean, the project is solid. I just don't think it was nothing on here. Like I guess listening to it in your house. There's nothing in here that you're just gonna be like, yo, this is the shit. Like this is riding music. It's club music. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So yeah, and plus once again, I listened to it once. So
Club music. You remember when WAP dropped and somebody said they shouldn't be dropping club music in the middle of a panorama?
listen, we that shit. No, it wasn't even about the panorama. It was in the middle of people, protesting all that shit. But we realized that shit's normal. So what are we bitching about? Because that stuff happens every day.
And
Niggas
people
still
are allowed
getting
to still
niggas
want to
still
have fun.
getting killed by the police.
Yes.
So
And then, people can justify a police officer killing a 12-year-old to the point that they just don't even have enough evidence to take that shit to
killing
trial.
12-year-olds, killing people parked in driveways, like it's now you know what they did with that case. To be honest, real quick, they just wanted to close that case before the Justice Department flips. That was it. Before they wanted to do that while the Republican Justice Department is there. So they gonna close all these cases because Kamala Harris and would have been like, yo, we nah. It would have been different. It's payback.
Yeah, I mean,
So they trying to solidify as much as they can while they can. They got 3 weeks.
right. Fuck
Three
them.
weeks.
Okay, so that brings us to December. Which gave us Bia's album For Certain, which I told y'all a couple weeks ago that if you are a fan of whatever you've heard from Bia so far, you should go and check it out. And then, we had like a list of things. Obviously, like we're both fucking tired and it's late. But we had a list of like things that deserved honorable mention. And I just want to kind of mention the fact that like I'm very excited to see that we're at a point now where regardless of whatever the fuck people want to say and their fake outrage at women having ownership and license of their bodies and saying the same shit that men say, that a lot of female artists were able to like come out and find a space and shine and find their audience. Bia is one of those people. um uh Flo Milli dropped bit Ho Why Is You Here, which
Oh,
is
why is
probably
you here?
my favorite album title of the year.
That
And
might be
is a
one of my
it
favorite album titles ever.
it is a constant mood for me. We also had Armani Caesar come out, which proved, the hypocrisy of motherfuckers because just because she's affiliated with Griselda, Katz is ignoring the fact that like her content is really not that different from Meg's content. But I'll let y'all rock. But Bia gave us a really, really dope joint. Who else? Kid Cudi dropped Man on the Moon 3. Which I've heard good things about. I haven't gotten around to it. Have you?
I'm not a Kid Cudi person.
Oh, but you be listening to shit just for the sake of listening to shit.
I'm not a Kid Cudi person. I know I'm not a
Mm,
Kid Cudi person. I did
like
listen to
your
the. I listened to the single. I don't get it.
wait, Anatomy just posted a trash two trash emojis. Is that for Cuddy?
Yeah, I'm not a Kid Cudi
I
person.
need Anatomy to tell me if that's for Cuddy. And then Jack Harlow dropped his debut album. That's what they all say.
That shit hard.
I'm a fan of Jack Harlow.
That shit
Not quite
hard.
sure how I haven't gotten around to that one yet.
Yeah, I took a couple days this week and I listened to Jack Harlow. That shit's hard.
That's it.
I feel like production wise, he can evolve. They can evolve. Because they kind of do the same thing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want him to end up like what they do with
The
Baby.
baby
The
with
baby,
who?
yeah, the baby.
Okay.
Like where all the shit sounds thin. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think the best track on there I like, and I'm gonna just look it up. But I think the best track on there I like is like it's Harry Fraud. You
Which
know,
one is that?
um, I don't remember the titles, but it's produced by Harry Fraud, and it's full. It sounds completely different than a
Okay.
lot of the other records sonically. Jack Harlow could rap, period. And I like when he tells stories and all that stuff. It's called Keep It Light.
Okay.
So, I really, really, really enjoy Jack Harlow's stories. He's fun. etc. But I just love that bed that Harry Fraud gave him to rap on. I would like to hear him on more of that. And I love the trap vibe, but it's like give it some elements. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't all got to kind of sound the same.
Right. Allow
So
yourself the opportunity to grow.
yeah, because I think he's a talented lyricist.
Mm-hmm.
Allow him to be that. You know what I'm saying? And he's still young and fun, and he say all the cool shit. But I just don't want to hear that thin ass trap music all the time with
Mm-hmm.
68 hi hats and one 808.
The project featured Bryson Tiller, Chris Brown, Big Sean, Sag Major, Lil Baby, and the Baby and Lil Wayne, and a Canadian Lilliputian from on the song "What's Poppin'." A Canadian Lilliputian whose name shall never be
I
uttered
hope
on the
they
show
take a
again.
nigga. They need to take the nigga
They,
off.
I mean, on the album, the track listing that I'm looking at,
Nah, he's
doesn't
still.
seem like they did. You would think that they would have, because that's what what's her name did. What's her name? The girl from the Bay Area, the singer. You know who
Talk
I'm
about
talking about.
Kalani.
Yes,
Kalani.
Kalani did that.
Yeah. But she's a
Um,
woman. She got it.
yeah, no, he's still on the remix on a bonus track. All right. So honorable mentions for this year. I think that Griselda has done a lot of really dope shit. Everybody on their roster dropped, right? And then you had that offshoot project that Benny and DJ Drama did, introducing his crew. So really looking forward to see what they're gonna do moving forward.
Yeah, I like that joint.
We collectively, you and I, hate to see it, but Russ is somehow building some shit. As we're sitting here, as we were prepping the show, there was this whole discussion happening. It's like the only time I've ever had FOMO on fucking Clubhouse, because it's like a whole bunch of rap journalists in there talking about this interview. And I'm trying to understand why it's such a big deal, but I've missed the conversation, so I may never know. Um,
I'm good.
and that's okay. And I want to encourage some of you guys to be like that with Clubhouse. Like, you could let shit die on the platform. Everybody doesn't have
Oh,
to know what happened.
it's tons of rooms. So
Let shit die there. Um, Danny Lay dropped an album called Movie, and I'm really, really sad that I did not know that until we started making this list for today.
and it got really good reviews.
Did it really? How the fuck did I miss this shit?
It was a weird week,
Okay.
to be honest.
All right. With Yellow Beezy, Gunna the Baby, Ty Dolla Sign, Fabio Foreign, Queen Naija, and Party Next Door on her features. Who does she have on the production side? Do you know?
Nah. But they can go to freecredits.com and look.
There you go.
Plug.
And then, well, freemusiccredits.com. If you're gonna plug it all the way. Eminem dropped this Music to Be Murdered by Beat Side B this month also. I just really don't know why. You know why?
Well, because he had a lot of content that he had recorded with a lot of producers that he really liked.
Okay.
And so he put it out. And that included people like S1 and some of the homies from Dallas, and and Eminem has millions of fans who want him to put out music
Constantly.
He broke a 50-year-old chart record. He's fucking Eminem. Like, for every person that is indifferent or who hates Eminem, there's 3 niggas who would kill you if you said that.
Now, I will say this. He did exactly what we said we wanted to see people do with the deluxes, right? Like, he didn't drop it immediately back to back. He gave you fresh content. I remember B-sides. The fact that it's called a B-side is probably lost on a lot of people that he fuck with, or that fuck with him rather, because we're old. It's fine. And then who else did we have on this honorable mention list? I wanted to shout out JoJo, because JoJo definitely did her thing this year with 2 projects, her own, Good to Know, and then also she did a Christmas project called December Baby. And what was the other thing? And Skip Marley. I feel like every generation of Marleys is gonna give you one that like has Bob potential, and Skip has Bob potential. Skip also has a very, very easy way of melding like a very reggae aesthetic. Which when I heard him the first time I ever heard Skip Marley, I immediately said, I wonder which Marley this is. And then my second question was like, do they like practice sounding like Bob? Or is it like some kind of genetic DNA thing? I don't know. Probably the former, not the latter. But he's really good at blending that aesthetic with like a real R&B aesthetic, which is dope. And gives him a lot of crossover potential, and also makes him the only person under 30 that's nominated for a reggae Grammy this year. And our favorite, Guap Dad, did all kinds of things this
Had a
year.
very good year. Very, very underrated. But he's made a lot of strides. You know, even watching that Bay Area versus,
Hmm.
he got shout outs. You know, he's got records with the OGs. We didn't even talk about their album, the joint album that E40 and Too Short have, which is
Hmm.
actually a pretty enjoyable album.
Ain't gonna
But
do it slash terms
terms and
and
conditions,
conditions.
yeah.
So is it
So
like a two? It's a two disc project. Like they each have their own
yeah,
side to it.
they each got 10 tracks apiece.
Okay.
So and I think then they got a song together.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, they got some good features on there, really good features. Guap Dad's on one of them. Guap, he's got an album with Eminem in the can that's coming out in 2021. Um, excuse me, he's got a with Illmind that's coming out in
Oh
2021.
yeah, that's right.
You know, they linked up on some Filipino shit and got busy. Guap Dad came out to Illmind spot and they cooked up some records. So that's fire. I can't wait to hear that. I think he did well for himself. He built a name. He took that. And I said this before. I said this right after it happened. But that whole Dreamville situation, he's the winner.
Hmm.
He's the winner. Like
Out of all the
Cole.
young cats, he made the most of that
Oh
situation.
yeah, Cole is still Cole. But this guy came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere. All those other guys, they're making incremental slides. Some of them are still, who the hell are you? But Guap Dad, he said, I'm seizing this shit. And his personality and the way he carries himself is really what's going to make him win. Plus, he's talented. You can tell he's a student of the music. So,
And you know what the other thing is about him is that like I think that prior to that Dreamville project, like I don't know that any of us took him seriously as an artist. He was on Twitter saying funny shit.
nah, I mean, he was just a scammer,
Yeah.
scammer jokes and videos or whatever. But,
So for him to come out and be like, like not like, hey, I use this and now I'm gonna try to put out music because it feels like the next step, like he's actually good. So that's really dope. I wanted to also shout out Sky Zoo and Lyric Jones, whose projects that they dropped this year both made Good Morning America's list of 50 best albums of 2020.
Solid.
So Sky Zoo dropped a project called Milestones, which is, an EP. And it's him, looking at life both as a father and his relationship with his own father as a son. And then Lyric Jones just dropped also an EP that came out, I want to say at top of December, but it might have been late November, called Closer Than They Appear. It's super, super dope. And I'm really, really happy to see Lyric just getting the attention that I think she's deserved for a very, very long time. And I told her the other day that I can't wait till Outside is open so that she can get to touring with this project and really be able to, deliver it the way that she can. Cause she's one of those people that she's dope on record, but like she's super dope when you see her live. So
Oh,
um
look, it's a video of Miami's Ocean Drive with wall to wall people. And it's not
hmm.
even New Year's.
I'll be inside, guys.
Give me my motherfucking vaccine, niggas.
Our
Please. Please.
friends, we made it through 2020 albums. We made it through 2020 itself. Everybody wasn't as lucky. Um, so like because of that, I just really wish that I could implore more of y'all to stay inside. But then I feel like the people that are listening to us are probably not the people that need to hear that message. So as we've been preaching since March, keep washing your hands and covering your fucking faces and stay in the fucking side when you can. But
And
don't worry, we're about to be back on lockdown.
and if you got your Stimmy, Don't spend it on dumb shit.
And wait for the rest of it. The rest is coming, y'all. And you guys, don't forget that as of January 1st, we are 19 days away from the siege being over. Lord willing. As always, he is at Scissor215 on all your favorite social media platforms.
And she's at Saint Boogie on everything.
Are you at
Instagram.
Scissor215 on Clubhouse also?
I am.
Okay. I'm also at
And
Saint Boogie on
she's
Clubhouse.
also on Clubhouse. So come talk to us.
We're probably gonna figure out some shit that we could do regularly on Clubhouse next year. Maybe talk to some producers
Absolutely.
or
Absolutely. We do
something.
whatever we want. Get us a little club.
Yeah, do
Hmm.
that. Yeah, and then the platform, the show, the podcast is at the Chop Block Podcast, the only thing from iStandardProducers.com to survive 2020.
Yeah. Well, the credits survived too. So we got,
So what?
credits survived too.
The credits survived. We made it.
And big shout to Anatomy, Mikey, Coquito, Mikey.
Look, Mikey's excited because he got him a coquito recipe, and I feel him because that's how I was a couple years ago when I got my cream mass recipe.
Shout to Mama. She makes some amazing pasteles. So, I'm excited to see how this turns out.
But word, Mikey has held us down all fucking year, 48 episodes. When me and Sis go to sleep, he's up here editing and rendering and saving and doing all kinds of wonderful shit
He's
to
a
make it
legend.
all dope. When me and Sis have ridiculous arguments about shit that we agreed about until the cameras started rolling, Mikey magically makes it disappear. When we ramble, he also makes that disappear sometimes.
Oh, one more
It's
thing. Georgia, vote.
vote if you haven't yet, please.
Vote. Okay.
Please vote.
Let's get these dickheads out of office. We got Mitch McConnell denying us money. We got Kelly Loeffler campaigning with KKK members. Get these niggas up out of there, bro.
And what's beautiful is that they set y'all up with the layup because they're over here beefing with each other. There's a billboard I heard off of 85 somewhere off over by Cumberland
It's
Mall
telling Republicans not to vote.
not to vote. So, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all, please get out there, do what y'all can. But yeah, back to my my Mikey appreciation thread. We love you. I don't know if we told you enough this year how much we appreciate you, but we do.
Let me hold some of that Stimmy.
Oh, I ain't got mine yet.
Me neither.
It's coming. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
We refreshing.
We'll be fine. We will be fine. I think mine is gonna come in the mail, so we'll see what it is. Anyway, y'all, we are out. We will see you in 2021.
See y'all in them clubhouse hallways.
Yeah, but not in the actual club.
No.
Stay the fuck out of that shit. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Instagram Live, for rocking with us today. We out. We going to bed separately. Everybody separately in their separate beds. It would be weird if we weren't all going to bed separately, especially since y'all niggas is married. It'd be very, very weird.